Cardi B was allegedly dumped by Stefon Diggs after leaving Offset because allegedly her BBL stank. So that we're gonna have some fun. We had a few ladies calling in to the live, so I said, let me do one for the ladies and for the fellas, so they could see Cardi B looking, looking proper. Now, make sure you subscribe to my daughter's YouTube channel at Unique Mecca Audio. She speaks about what it was like being raised without her father for 26 years while he served life in prison. All right. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca Audio, man. This joint here is about, Stefon Diggs dumping Cardi B over stank BBL. Y'all put in the comments if y'all believe this. It's raining out, so I just wanted to do something a little different. And, it is what it is. Yo, I'm doing it live. Who this?
Yo, what's up? It's the OG from the Diddy shirt with the Diddy shirt on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, listen, I'm doing it live on Cardi B. Let me call you right back. All right, we do something. All right.
I know.
All right, so that's what it is, right? So this is Cardi B being dumped by Stefon Diggs. Y'all let me know if y'all believe this.
After I gave birth to my son, my was huge. And the reason why my was so huge, because I almost gained 20, and you already know my already have some shots. So my was already huge as well.
Yo, listen. To Cardi B and to all the young girls out there, just so y'all fully understand and overstand, when you have a child, your cheeks get bigger, okay? So you don't run to go get it sculpted, shaped it, flipped it, and whipped it, and turned upside down under a scalpel, because it'll come back to haunt you. Because let's ride. See, God put us together in a scientific form with everything that we need so that, we can be healthy and strong. And if you go in and start taking out organs and pulling out fat and removing this from here and put it at this portion of the body and all of that, now your body is not functioning how God intended your body to function. So you're going to move awkward. You're going to feel sexy, but you're not going to be healthy on the inside because you remove something that God intended for you to have in order to be healthy. We got that? Let's keep it moving.
Like putting that baby weight on my body, plus the shot.
Y'all, it's looking like BBL stinky. BBL stinky, because Stefon Diggs just confirmed the rumors about how Cardi B's BBL allegedly is stank. And it looks like he is done covering for her, because rumors about Cardi B's BBL being botched blew up after her Coachella performance went viral for all the wrong reasons. The next thing we knew, we found out that Stefon had gone back to his ex and they had resumed their relationship.
So in other words, Cardi B was just a pass-through chick. He had a little issues with his woman, so he passed over with another one. I don't understand for the life of me how people play these games. Now, we're going to use this as a hypothetical. Okay, but we're going to use the Cardi name, Stefon or whatever. Now, Cardi know she with Stefon, she doing her, Offset. She got babies with him. She doing her thing. He cheats on her. He does what he do. So that now she says they broken up. They still have the baby. They still going to be connected. They still going to be bumping boots. Everything is still going to be happening. Whether they're bumping boots or not, they're still going to have to communicate with each other. So now she goes out and she gets with another man that, just had an issue with his girl. So now he's single for a minute because he had an issue with his girl. So then now, how do you think he played Cardi B? Let's have a game. Let's have a game. Now, do you think he played Cardi B or do you think she played him? Who do you think was liking whose pictures to let whoever know that they're interested? Because you do know when, you go liking people pictures and all of that, then they come back and then they recognize that you like their picture to show interest. And, from there, then you reach in and you say, hey, and then you say, oh, yeah, Offset's been this and Offset is that. And now you're telling them all Offset's business. And as you're telling that man your business, that man is listening and he's looking at you like you just a clown and a piece of meat, because whatever happened with you and your man is supposed to stay between you and your man. Even if you break up, you don't run to social media with it like I see all these celebrities doing and all of that. Like, where do that even come from? But like I said, they start, liking each other in the DM, and then they start talking. They think they're doing something slick. And then at the end of the day, you know what I mean? He goes back to his ex, because everybody has someone that they're talking to. Even if they're single, they still have that side booty call they could go call when they want to call to get wet. And that's the one that will always be in their life. Similar to a baby father, but they just play their position. And when they call, or if they call and they want to give them some, they give them some, but they have that mutual relationship where they both go out and, see other people. And they call that, because they had a movie about that with, what's that boy named Kushner? You know what I mean? And the girl from the 70s show called Friends with Benefits. You understand? I don't understand why females or even baby mothers like Cardi B can't understand that, you could still go do you, you know what I mean? Because he's going to do him, Cardi. He's going to do him, and you're going to do you. But don't sit there and hide it. You don't have to throw it in each other's face, but you have to know who you're dealing with. You don't go, Cardi, go deal with somebody that, he's cool with, or that came by came to the concert, came to, the baby shower, whatever it is that you had. And then next thing you know, y'all liking each other pictures, y'all talking, and it get real messy and it looks stupid. And the female always look like the clown, because you already know all the dude trying to do is hit. So now Stefon hit, and now he broke out, and now they saying that Cardi B got a stank BBL. Can a BBL exude odor like that? Like, where does the odor come from a BBL? Through the skin? Somebody put in the comments and let me know what's going on, man. Oh, man. I might do a live on this later.
This isn't the first time that people have been talking about Cardi's BBL, so we ain't body shaming, but we might be stink shaming, because there's been some talk over the years about how there's something just not right about it. And if Stefon is dumping her because of it, well, it looks like it's only getting worse. And in true Cardi fashion, she has been clapping back at fans, lashing out over Stefon dumping her, because the situation is absolutely embarrassing. It's already super messy, but it's like it's getting stinky. Let's get into it. Okay, y'all. So Cardi B's body has been the topic of speculation on social media for a long time. And in her defense, it's probably because she's quite open about the work she's gotten done on her body, if it wasn't just obvious. But some people often praise her body because, honestly, bod or not, it's still tea. But the thing about the surgery is that it can be quite addictive, and it's hard to know when you should stop, because she's always getting something done to her body, and fans are now talking about how her body is getting botched. It got messy over Coachella weekend when this picture of her went,
whoa. Look at the lumps in Cardi B. I'm a ride, right? When I first came home, right? I was in the club, and, there was girls there with the BBLs, they doing their thing. And, my man is telling me about this, and I'm looking, and he's like, yo, dog, see, they be having lumps in there. I said, what do you mean lumps? He said, watch this. So it was a girl he knew, so he went and he squeezed the butt. When he squeezed the butt tight, you could see all these little whelps, look like little swollen bullets trying to come out of her skin, right under her tight ass pants. So I'm looking, he's like, yo, see what I'm saying? He said, yo, Dog, they go, and every time they go, they get a shot, and they get it in a different place, and every place they get it be a whelp. So even though it look good, when you touch it, it's like that. And that's when I say, oh, no, I don't want no BBL. I don't care if my girl got the flat ass, the fat ass, the thinnest, or whatever ass there is. You understand? I'd rather take it natural than get with a woman that when I'm touching her, I'm feeling all of these little bullet holes. Like, you know how you under the bridge, they got those metal bars and they got the little knots, like when Martin was fighting Hagler and he beat him up and he knocked him into the pole and he had these big knots all on his head. That's how the cheeks be looking. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, why would a woman even do that? You know? And then, you know, while we talking, this other girl there that we know, she said, oh, I may see y'all talking that. I see the same thing. She said, look, I got mine done, but I didn't do it that way. I had them cut it under the cheek and slide it in and other this. I'm like, you had them cut you up together instead of just going to work out. You know, she said, nah, don't it look good? I said, yeah, it look good, but how's it going to look in 10 years? You know, how's it going to affect you if you get pregnant? You know, she said, well, no, I don't plan on getting pregnant. You won't be young forever. So I had to go get my body done. I said, okay.
Viral, and not for the right reasons. She tried to claim that it was photoshopped or edited, but everybody knows that Getty does not edit their pictures in any way. So what you see is what you got. Well, Cardi immediately clapped back and posted this picture of herself, and honestly, it looked good. But
now, how do Cardi B look in that picture? Do you think that she was wise to get this BBL to look like that? Somebody put it in the comment. And, you know, females, how do you feel when you see a woman looking like that, knowing that they have a BBL? Because I see girls, when they look at certain girls, like, you know, out, they curl their nose up like, you know, like it stank. And then now I'm hearing that Stefon Diggs dumps Cardi B over stank BBL, and the females normally curl their nose up like it stink. You think the females knew all the time that the BBLs has an odor? Man, let's keep it moving.
fans accused her of photoshopping the picture, and everybody started looking and talking about how she's really botched in real life and was trying to hide it with Photoshop.
Whoa, look at this right here. Look up here. What the heck is this? How did that picture we just looked at turn into this? Ladies, you want to go get a temporary body lift that you know is eventually going to fall and you're going to have to keep paying to do it. You remember that lady, right? Could we ride? I remember it was a lady when I was growing up, you know, a European lady, and she got so many plastic surgeries you couldn't even, and she was filthy rich. She had all these plastic surgeries where her lips was this, and they called them Botox. You know what I mean? And she was trying to get black people lips. I couldn't believe this when I seen it. And the way her face looked, it's like, oh my God. And then sitting there, let's even take Lil' Kim, because we riding. You think Lil' Kim looked better when she was younger without all the plastic surgery, or now with the plastic surgery? I'm going to weigh in on that. I'm going to say I think Lil' Kim was bad as a natural black girl out of Brooklyn with the sassy attitude, more than this new Lil' Kim. Don't have anything against it, because if she's happy, I love it. But this is just what I'm saying. All right, let's keep it moving.
Shot pictures. She clapped back at fans who had something to say about her BBL, and in true Cardi fashion, she called them ugly and broke.
Now, they're ugly and broke because they don't like your BBL. You see what happens when you get a little money? You think money equals beauty and fashion.
Always, you stupid, weak as this. It's never the bad bitches. It's never the bad bitch. You know what it is? It's never the bad bitches, and it's never the trans bitches. The cunt trans fucks with it. The cunt trans always fucks with it. The bad fucks with it. The niggas with the money fucks with it. It's always you bad bill, angry, jealous bitches, and it's always you fucking funky, ugly country butch queens that don't got no style. Because the butch queens that get it. But the poor ones always talking shit.
And if that wasn't messy enough,
Now, she's saying the poor girls are always talking trash. So is Cardi B insinuating that because they're poor and can't afford to get a BBL, they hating on her? Somebody let me know that in the comments, man.
Now the streets are saying that her BBL also stinks so bad that her man Stefon Diggs dumped her.
Listen, man, Stefon Diggs was only dealing with it for the moment. You got kids with somebody else, so we know you attached to that man, Cardi B. You attached to that man. That man will always be in your life. So therefore, you meet a dude that knows that 9 times out of 10, he's gonna let it be known that, yo, we already know the connection you have with baby daddy. So your side piece is on Front Street. It's not like you have no kids and you can say you're single, you ain't been with a man in 3 years, you celibate, you can say whatever you want when you don't have any kids. And then people would have something to hang on to say that, you know, yeah, she's single. But no, she has someone she could call when she wants to get her garden watered. So she's never truly single. Because that same gardener that's watering her garden, when she gets with you and something happens with you and her relationship, she's going to call the gardener. So if you think that you actually claiming something, it's more like out of sight, out of mind. You think that because you don't see her doing it, she's telling you she's not doing it, she's smiling at you, she's not doing it, she's trying to convince you she's not doing it. You know what time it is. When you go believing that she's not doing nothing, that's when you lost the game. The object is to make her believe. I'm giving y'all some jewels now. The object is to make her believe that you believe the bullcrap. But the moment you go to believe in the bullcrap that she's all yours, not seeing nobody, you know, or that she love you, dog, that's when you lost. That's when you lost. I just gave y'all so many jewels in this. Because if you look back, look around, look upside down, look around. Anybody you know, your closest friends, you know they have that one person that just tears them off when they need tearing off. They might even treat them like crap. You understand what I'm saying? When they get together, it's like, you know, they're just homies. And nobody knows what they're doing, but everybody knows what they're doing. But that's because they're not broadcasting it, because that's for their satisfaction. And they're still, you know, pursuing their options play in the field. Y'all catching these jewels? Because that's the problem with a lot of these young girls and young men out here. They want to play these games. You don't need to go, you know, Cardi and Stefon go liking each other pictures to start something up. Just pick the phone up or even call on the thing. Just stop it. It's a bunch of bull crap. Let's keep it moving.
According to sources, her relationship with Stefon has come to a sad end, and it's allegedly because he could no longer deal with the stench. Not only did he dump her, but he also ran back to his ex, who was only too happy to take him back. She posted a couple of pictures of her and Stefon cozied up, and it looked like they had picked up right where they left off. She also posted text that he sent her from the conversation, and it looks like they have been in some constant communication.
Now, you see what I'm saying? All this posting text, showing text this, text that. Stop it, man. That's so childish. What, you got to prove that you was screwing him? You got to prove that, you know, he liked your picture first? I mean, what the hell is this? Just move on with your life and go. Either be with the person, don't be with the person, continue to be with the person, whatever you choose to do, but stop these games, man. 9 times out of 10, right, could we ride? I got to keep it 100 because, you know, everybody's not the same. That's usually the women with low self-esteem. The women with the low self-esteem is the ones that they want to wear the most provocative clothes, put on the most makeup, skin up in people's face and smiling and acting like, hey, because their self-esteem is low. So they want to be noticed. So then they go, DMing somebody else's, woman or somebody else's man, because that self-esteem go both ways for men too. When you see dudes, right? You got dudes that want to borrow other people's jewelry and take fake money and take pictures in front of somebody else's Rolls Royce and put, I just copped this joint, and then hope to catch a female like what we have on the screen. And you got this stupid young-minded, because you even got older women that's young-minded, females that go for this. And they say, oh man, you see that Bentley he's standing in front of, he got money. But then a dude actually drive down the street in a Bentley and say, excuse me, could I pull over and talk to you for a minute? And you turn your nose up. But as soon as they like your picture, you know what I mean? And you look at them, you say they're cute, you run in, you hit it back. But when it was in your face, in the physical, where you could feel the vibe and feel the spirit, you don't want that. And that's what's crazy, that I come home after 26 years and everybody is hiding behind the keyboard on one of these, which is crazy. I mean, you got the toughest people behind these. You got the most beautiful people behind these. And you got the most ugliest people behind these. And that's what's a shame. But let's get back to this. I hope y'all catching these jewels, man.
And it doesn't sound like the type of conversation that you have after weeks of radio silence. And this has fans wondering if he had her on standby the entire time that he was with Cardi. She also said, I hate when a ninja act like he wasn't just crashing out being a stalker, but I'll let them have social media and play my part so he can get his clout. She did.
But you just posted on social media. And then you posting private messages. Who does that? Who does that? Hold up.
Then said, I don't post him. I be with him in real life and we be doing it raw. Well, the streets are now saying that Cardi.
Yeah, that, and we be doing it raw. You bragging about sleeping with another woman's man raw. And you think that's something to tell the world about? How did the females get here that they have no more respect for themselves and their privacy, that they want to put on social media? Oh, I'm doing them raw. Back in my days, they wouldn't even yell out, I'm doing them. People see it, they know what's happening, they mind their business and stay in their lane. But nowadays, it's like, yo, put on social media. Oh, there's a picture in Nikki and Stefon. They was liking each other pictures and got together when Offset, cheated on her and put her through all of that. So Cardi got a right to do what she want to do, but there's still children involved, while Cardi, as the mother, have to think for her child. Does she want her child being raised to look back and seeing these videos that ex-fling said that her BBL stink, and now this child is in school at 7, 8 years old when kids got access to their own troublemakers, Now, where do we go from there? Cardi, you're with Offset. He got the bag, you got the bag, you love him, he love you, he's doing what men do, he's just sloppy with it. So either tell him to tighten it up, or if you're gonna leave him, really leave him, take your time, close your legs, and study your mind. Find out who Cardi B is, how she wound up in this situation with this man that's cheated on her, or however she want to look at it. Is this making any sense to y'all?
B's stank BBL is the reason she got dumped. And y'all, it's absolutely messy. I'm not saying it's true because I ain't got no whips, but if it is, that's crazy. But it might not be that surprising because if there's one thing that we know about Cardi is that she loves her some plastic surgery. And that sit down ear might be suffering. But y'all, plastic surgery has pretty much become a regular thing in Hollywood. So many celebrities have had some type of work done, but you never know it from the way they talk. Most of them swear up and down that it's just a new contour technique, a stricter diet, and suddenly they're going vegan. As if those things magically reshape your entire face and body. And I'm not about to start dropping names, but let's be real for a millisecond. There are some transformations that just don't come from green juice and yoga alone. But now Cardi is like a whole different story. Unlike a lot of celebs who act like they woke up one day with a new nose and curves, Cardi has been refreshingly honest about the procedures that she's had done.
And I'm proud of that. That's good. You know, what I don't understand is you get girls and you can see them, they thighs are this little. Literally, their thighs are this little and their butt is this big. You know, somebody explain this to me. How can your thighs be this little and your butt be this big? And then they'll tell you, oh, it's real. I would never do that. And you looking at them like, yo, you about to tip over. God didn't create you that way. You walking bent over because this extra back that they gave you is tilting you forward. And you want me to believe that you didn't have surgery. That's why Cardi B gets a round of applause for letting it be known, because you remember when everybody was lying. Round of applause to Cardi B. Hit them like buttons, man. Hit them like buttons and hit the notification. Make sure you get notified when these videos go up and you already know subscription is there. Let's keep this moving, man.
She's not shy about it either. She's talked openly about getting her body done, enhanced, and even warned people to seriously think it through before jumping into it. She's also kept it 100, and that's something a lot of folks respect about her. Because one thing Cardi gonna do is try to keep it all the way real. But lately, there's been some talk online about whether Cardi might be taking it a step too far. Some fans have been starting to point out that her look is changing again.
Oh my God, we got to show that. Did you see that? Look at this right here, right? Look at this. You see this right here? Look at the hip here and look at the hip here. Look at the stomach here. Look at the stomach there. You know, she could have worked out to get that. It would have took a little 90 days, 6 months at the most. I mean, come on, she could have worked out to get that. Ladies, get in the gym. And remember, this joint is being sponsored by Cashbox. But get in the gym. All right.
Point out that her look is changing again, and not in the best way.
Look at this, man. Hold up. Y'all got to see this. Look at the whelps on her cheeks. You telling me, young ladies and elderly ladies and just ladies in general, that you go out and go get someone in the back room or even in an office to go shooting shots in you every day to be something other than what you was created to be and what you nourished yourself to be. Because if you eat a bunch of crap and you get a big stomach and 3 whales all on the side of your rib cage, then you already know at some point you need to listen to Unique Mecca audio and do a push away. Do a push away from the table. Leave the food alone. Leave the snacks alone. What I understand is, right, I'll be in the corner bodega, right? I'm in the corner bodega, right? And I see these 3 girls came in. The 3 of them, all together is about 1,000 pounds, right? They got like 5 little kids with them. And they're picking up every piece of candy you could think and throwing it on the counter. And I'm sitting there. And they telling me like, nah, you could go ahead, And I'm like, nah, I'm enjoying the view, They sit there smiling. And they don't know I'm talking about the view of wondering why the hell you didn't push away from that table. At some point, you had to know when that third gut came out that it was time to push away from the table. You have to be the one to decide when to push away from the table. The point that I'm making, because I'm riding, is with these 3 young ladies that I've seen in there. They actually sat there And they're telling the kids, go ahead, get your snacks. I said, yo, you're getting so much candy. That's a meal. You know what I mean? And she started laughing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to pay for it. You know what I mean? Because, she said, oh, why are you going to do that? I said, because as a mother, I want to know that me as a man didn't allow you to poison your kids, but you allowed me to do something for your kids. She said, oh, thank you. Y'all put in the comments if you understand that. I just didn't want the mother to poison them. Yeah, call me, scumbag, because I'd rather do it. Don't let the mama do it. Come on, moms. At least show that you love them or something.
There's concerns that maybe all this tweaking and touch-ups are starting to catch up. These days, Cardi doesn't really open up about it as much, but if you've been following her from early on, then you know that a big reason she started getting this plastic surgery had to do with how she was raised and the environment she grew up in. Where she came from, thick girls were celebrated. Like, the standard of beauty was all about having a big booty, a full chest, and those Coke bottle curves. And that was the look everybody admired, and Cardi just didn't fit into that mold. She said before that growing up, she was super skinny, and in her world, that wasn't exactly seen as attractive. In fact, she was one of the only girls around her who didn't have that thick body type. And instead of just brushing it off, it really stuck with her. She got teased, she got bullied, and over time, that started to wear her down and wear down her confidence. It made her feel like she wasn't beautiful, like something was wrong with her.
You come from nationalities that they praise the girls, that they praise guys, they praise all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to just be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna walk around my flat. No. Some of y'all happy with it, and that's great, but that just wasn't me when I was young. So
right there, that's where she's saying that she had low self-esteem. She didn't love her body for what it was and who she is. That's low self-esteem. If you feel that you have to look at another female to know what you should look like, you have low self-esteem. You could look at another female and say, oh, she has a nice figure. Talking about a female. You could look at another female and say she has a nice figure because she do. But there's nothing wrong with that. When it becomes a problem is when you say, oh, she got a nice figure, I wonder who did her BBL. That's when it becomes a problem. When you start saying, I want to make myself look like that, and you spend money to look like that. If you took your time to go in the gym to work for it, then all of that falls into your health, your spirituality, and just, the comfort and the centering of your chi. So you understand. But to say where I grew up, everybody had big butts, so I wanted a big butt. But then again, I might sound like a hypocrite there as I thought about that, because, when I seen, the older guys driving Mercedes, I wanted Mercedes. When I seen them wearing big dookie rope chains, I wanted dookie rope chains. So what does that tell you? That my self-esteem was low as well. A man's self-esteem is just as capable as being as low as a woman's self-esteem. It's not just women with low self-esteem. You got dudes with low self-esteem. When you got a dude this short, right? You got a dude 4'11", and he go buy a big Yukon truck that he need 2-step ladders to get in. That's low self-esteem. You know what I mean? When, and I'm even gonna say me, Ron. I'm 60, so I'm still at a good age to do it. But when you see an 85-year-old man and he's driving around in a Ferrari, you know that he has low self-esteem. What is an 85-year-old man that's knocking on death's door got any business getting in an automobile that goes 200 miles an hour, racing to go where when his next step is the graveyard? You see how low self-esteem works? He is a step away from the graveyard and he's racing around in a Ferrari because he has low self-esteem. You know what I mean? Come on, man. But that Cardi B's talking about was a trend, and I'm glad now that the women is getting away from the BBL and more getting into the health part of working out to get the body that they're comfortable with than paying for the body that they want. Make sure y'all share this video and check out my daughter's YouTube channel, Unique Mecca Audio, Juanita, Mecca Audio. Hit the subscribe button on this channel, the notification button. Let's get it moving.
Well, then things started changing when she got into stripping, but contrary to what you might expect, stepping into the club didn't instantly boost her confidence or make her feel empowered, or at least not at first. When she started dancing, she didn't have the body type that most club regulars were into. She was still skinny, and in that world, curls were absolutely currency.
But she was still cute. Listen, people go to the strip club not just for the big booties. You know, okay, let me tell you one, Rob. I ain't gonna say no names. I take one of the homies to a strip club out there in Jersey, right, in Central Jersey. We go down there, it's nothing but Latin women. Everybody look like Cardi B in there, right? Yeah, you know, go ahead and say, oh, he sounds racist. He's not saying no black girls. But no, this was a joint where they had nothing but Latin women. All of them look like they fresh off the boat. Everybody's body is done. Everybody's looking banging. And there's some that didn't do their body and their body is banging from working the right way, and some that paid for their bodies. Now we in the joint. My man is sitting here telling me, y'all, I don't be dealing, you know what I mean, with all these fake butts and all that, blah, 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 blah. And he got his face crawled up. Y'all, I don't know why you brought us out here. And he crying like a banshee. And then this big Amazon, like caramel complexion Colombian chick. This is a caramel Colombian, right? She about maybe 6'1", at least 6 feet, right? And she got heels on, and her butt was this big, you know, and her waist was this big. But when she walked by and my man seen her, he dropped his drink. I said, got him. I said, got him. Got that trigger now, you know? So I said, hold up. I grabbed Shorty by the arm and I said, yo, come over here. Dance for my man. So as soon as my man seen her and she turned around and was ready to dance for him, he said, yo, where the VIP at? Where the VIP at? And he went right up in the VIP to go get his private dance, but it's the same one that was complaining. Stop the games. Yo, I would prefer myself a woman with a natural petite body over someone that want to just blow it out. It might look good, you know what I mean? But it's too much bull crap to get to the, you know, it's just too much work. You know, I even asked myself this, right? You know, how do some of these girls with these big, bodacious BBLs even wash back there? They hand can't reach back there. And then to make it even worse, because my mom always taught me something, we right about that. I used to listen to my lovely mother, 90 years old, upstairs, talking to my oldest sisters when they wanted to get their nails done all long with all of these, when they had the little press-ons and all that back in my day, before the new fancy stuff. My mother said, no, you can't put those nails on. Keep your nails short, neat, and clean so you could clean yourself. You can't get the rag in there like you want to. This is what I'm listening to my mama tell my sisters. If you got these long nails. So that's why when I see a female that got long nails, you know, those are booty calls for the night. No disrespect, call it what you want, just keeping it 100. Now, if you put the nails on, you go out, you know what I mean, for the night or a couple of days and you keep it on, that's one thing. But when you see a girl that every day her nails is this damn long, how is she washing herself properly? And another thing my mama taught me, because I'm just riding, I feel like alive. I've been doing a few lives lately, so I feel like riding. Another thing my mama always told me, Ron, she said, if you see a female and her feet is dirty, the rest of her is dirty. And now you say, how you know girl foot dirty? Because right about now, the men is wearing flip-flops and the females is wearing their sandals. They walking around the dirty streets. I seen a female, Ron, wearing an all-white dress, white sandals with some gold studs going over it with a little gold, you know, Gucci pocketbook looking like $1 million. And she's walking and she sat down at the bus stop, and I said, damn, she taking a bus like that? And I pulled over to wait, right? Now, I wasn't thinking about all that. I just wanted to look at the beauty because she looked good when she sat at the bus stop. Man, like me, been locked up 26 years. So to see a beautiful woman on a bus stop for 26 years, only seen that in pictures. So now I could see it in real life. I pulled the car over and I'm sitting there looking. And she did the most amazing thing. You know what she did? She crossed her legs, went in her little Chanel bag, and pulled out a little pack of wipes and wiped her feet off. Put a sandal back on after she wiped out her sandals, wiped her feet, got up, and started prancing off with her purse. I said, gunshots, 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 and a round of applause. All right, relax, y'all. Relax, man. Relax, please, relax. You know, but, you know, I just wanted to, the same way I give the guys gangster jewels, I wanted to give the females, the young ladies, jewels. Gene. You see those? Let's keep it moving.
So once again, she found herself being overlooked and not fitting into this ideal. And since her self-esteem was already bruised from years of teasing and feeling like she wasn't enough, this just added fuel to the fire. Well, eventually, Cardi saved up that coin to get her first procedure, a breast augmentation. She was only 18 when she got it done, and for a while, it really did lift her spirits, literally. She finally started to feel a little more confident, a little more like the version of herself that she wanted to see in the mirror. But if you know anything about plastic surgery, you'll know it's rarely a one and done deal. It can be very incredibly addictive, not just emotionally, but physically too, because many procedures require touch-ups, maintenance, and revisions over time. And for someone like Cardi, she already carried deep insecurities about her body. That first surgery was just the beginning. And once she got a taste of what it felt like to fix something she didn't like, it became easier to keep going.
But she didn't think of the long-term consequences while she picked up an alleged new addiction. And remember, this is sponsored by Cashbox. All right.
Even though things improved a little bit for Cardi after she first got her surgery, she was still making way less money than the curvier strippers because she still had that flat
Damn, she looked
booty.
busted.
When I was a dancer and everything, like, I had the teeth, I had the bomb tattoos, I had a six-pack, whole split, everything, but not split, but I could do crazy pole tricks, all that.
She's so honest. You gotta love Cardi. She's like, I can do a split. And she, not exactly. I can't do a split. She could have lied and stuck with it. But I like Cardi. That's when you know this is a female that just speak her mind.
But I was missing some ass.
To make matters even worse and more complicated, Cardi was dealing with heartbreak around that same time, and her boyfriend was cheating on her. In her mind, the reason was painfully clear, that the other girl had a bigger booty. She started believing that if she just had some more curves, maybe he wouldn't have to look elsewhere. But here's the thing. Cardi was only 20 and living in New York. She didn't have the kind of money to go to a reputable licensed plastic surgeon. And to make matters even trickier, she was still super thin. So she didn't have enough
Damn. That was Cardi, y'all?
body fat for a BBL, which uses your own fat. So instead of going the safe route, she ended up going to a woman named Donna Francis and paid her $800 for illegal silicone injections in her butt and thighs. So if that name rings a bell, it should, because Donna Francis became infamous for one of her clients that tragically died during one of those unlicensed procedures. The whole thing exploded in a major legal case, and eventually Donna was arrested and sent to prison for running an illegal silicone injection business. Thankfully, Cardi was lucky enough to survive the procedure without any major side effects. But that doesn't mean she got off easy, because she spoke to GQ magazine about that crazy after effects she had. She said, "They don't numb your butt or anything. It was the craziest pain ever. I felt like I was gonna pass out. I felt a little dizzy, and it leaks for like 5 days."
Whoa, how could you ladies go through that? She said that it was the craziest feeling she ever felt, and she felt like she was going to pass out. So you're going to sit there and let somebody push something in you that's not for health purposes, not for life or death purposes. knowing that you're going to feel like you're going to pass out from the pain? How low can your self-esteem be? Put it in the comments.
After getting those initial procedures done, Cardi kind of slowed down on the surgery for a while. At that point, she had finally achieved the body that she thought she always dreamed of. Well, she didn't really feel the need to keep going under the knife, at least not right away. But of course, that piece didn't last forever. And fast forward to 2019, after she gave birth to their daughter Culture, and things shifted again. And like a lot of new moms, Cardi was dealing with the changes of her body postpartum, and she decided to get another job to fix some of the changes that came with breastfeeding. And on top of all that, she went in for liposuction to shed some of the baby weight that she had still hanging around. But this is where it got rough because Cardi didn't give herself enough time to properly heal. Her schedule was packed with performances and appearances, and instead of resting and recovering like she was supposed to, she jumped right back into work. Eventually, the stress caught up with her and her body started reacting. And at one point, her feet were so swollen from the lipo that she posted a picture online. And let's just say, it wasn't a good look. It was clear that her body was screaming for a break. The swelling scared her enough that she finally listened to her doctors, who insisted that she stop performing and rest. And that experience really shook her up. And for a moment, it seemed like it changed her outlook. Cardi even posted, "I've been working out for the past 2 weeks because I ain't getting surgery again." Now, for a while, Cardi really did try to step back from surgery after all the issues that she had with recovery, especially the scary swelling after her lipo. And she decided to play it safe. So when she started feeling like she wanted to change her nose, she went for a non-surgical option, like just fillers. But the fillers ended up making her nose look kind of weird, and she wasn't feeling that. So eventually, she decided to go ahead and get a full rhinoplasty to get it done right. But of course, that wasn't the end. After she had her son, Wave, in 2021, Cardi revealed that she was thinking about getting a tummy tuck. She said she had loose skin around her stomach from the pregnancy, and no matter how much she worked it out, it wasn't going away. But it wasn't just a tummy tuck that soon got people talking. It was the fact that we noticed that her booty had gotten different. It was bigger. I mean, just look at the video that she posted. People started side-eyeing Cardi again when her body started to look a little off, and her waist was looking extra snatched, but her butt was still real big, which...
Hey, yo, how does Cardi look in that picture? I can't lie. That looks good. That looks good. That looked good. So, ladies, this is what you're going to go through to catch our attention so we can say that looks good. That looks good. Somebody let me know, man.
Made proportions seem kind of off. Naturally, folks on the internet started accusing her of getting more butt shots or secretly going back in for more work, and the comments were flying everywhere with people saying that she looked unnatural or even unhealthy. But Cardi, being Cardi, wasn't about to let these rumors run wild without saying something herself. She hopped on Instagram Live and shut down the claims, saying she didn't get more shots. But at the same time, though, she kept it real. She admitted that she knew her butt looked a little weird, and she didn't pretend everything was perfect or act like she couldn't see what people were talking about.
After I gave birth to my son, my was huge. And the reason why my was so huge because I almost gained 20. And you already know my already have some shots. August, I did surgery because a lot of people thought that as soon as I gave birth, I got my body done. No, I didn't. In August, I did surgery and I removed 95% of my bioperimeters. But of course, right, they took it out of me, but they still had to shape my butt because they took a lot of shots out. So
now they pull all this out of your body. Do you think your body is still the same?
My butt is a little fluffy now.
But it's obvious that she regrets her surgery because
nice. Ooh, y'all
she
missed
warned young women not to make the same mistakes she made when she was young.
All I'm going to say is, right, that if you're young, if you're 19, if you're 20, if you're 21, and sometimes you're too skinny, and you be like, oh my God, I don't got enough fat to put on my and everything, so you resort to shots, don't do it. Like, I am super against shots.
So it seems like she was known for a while about how her BBL is no longer giving what it's supposed to have gave, and she has been trying to fix it. But unfortunately, it's not that easy to change. But somewhere along the line, it allegedly started to stink so bad that Stefon dumped her and went right back to his ex. And
do y'all really believe that her BBL stank that bad? Put it in the comments if you believe that Cardi B BBL stank that bad.
her defense, though, Stefon is pretty much just Offset version 2.0 because he also is known to cheat. He's a big player, and he even got dumped by Young Miami because he couldn't stop playing the field. They had a thing going for a few weeks after Miami suddenly tweeted, "I can't fall in love." No. And Young Rich outside insane.
All right. Now, do you think Cardi B stank down there? What did y'all learn from this video? What did you get from this video? Put it in the comments. Let me know what you got from this video. I enjoyed y'all coming. See you in the next video. And know that, you know, it's real in the Ville. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. An Instagram page and a YouTube you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get views from a kingpin. I went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio.
Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. Mecca what? Mecca audio. And we gon' do it like. We gon' do it like. We keep it moving like. We gotta do it like.
Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top demon so shine. I let shorty go, she was wine. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roar in Uptown. Baby horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend the air. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish there. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can get back to the.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.